Ryan, first of all, do you understand the outrage felt by many when they hear about a disparity on that scale, nearly 100 times of a difference between the boss and the lowest paid worker?
Yes, of course, I understand the outrage, but also I would like to say that I've always been motivated to achieve success and to make as much money as possible. Coming from The Apprentice, having my own business, I've always been inherently motivated to do well, and I don't think that's something we should discourage. Of course, there will always be wage disparities, but when it comes to bosses making more money than the workers, naturally the disposition, the mentality, the talent that the bosses possess sort of deserve the wage that they earn. And you can see that around the world with the likes of Elon Musk and the train bosses that we're referencing here. I believe they deserve the pay, and I think it serves as great motivation to people like me, young people. I'm 22. I look up to these people.
I can understand that, and I think, apart from anything else, I think it's almost inevitable in a free market. But Steffi, are you seeing more people struggling in recent years? I suppose, really, I mean, in the past couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The demand for our services and other partner organisations that we work with has just gone through the roof. You know, we know that the cost of living's gone up massively. People are struggling more than ever. I've just lost a volunteer from our organisation who's a pensioner who's had to go back to paid work because she can't afford her bills. You know, this is what we're seeing, is that, you know, things are really, really tough for people.
And do you think that the disparity, you know, the idea of bosses earning, you know, 80, 90, 100 times more than their lowest paid staff, is that just inevitable in a free market?
I don't think it has to be, no. I mean, I absolutely agree that, of course, a boss is going to earn more than somebody at entry-level position. And I completely agree with Ryan Mark that, you know, you need something to achieve, to work towards, and aspire to reach that level. However, I do think it's very much a false economy, paying workers so much less. You know, when you've got some of the lower level workers having to work 3 jobs, so they're coming into work exhausted, they're not at their best, you know, or they're at work and they're worrying about leaving on time so they can get to the food bank queue, or how are they going to feed the kids tonight? You're not going to get the best out of workers, especially if they know that the wage gap is so immense. It's, you know, how can you motivate people if you're at the top and they are struggling so much at the bottom, as many people are right now?
What about that, Ryan? What say you? How do you motivate people? I hear what you're saying about, you know, the best paid, the most successful being, you know, inspirational figures for entrepreneurs like yourself. But what do we say to people who can't pay bills and they're within organisations where the boss is stratospherically removed from them?
Well, I see 2 sides of the coin. Of course, I think government intervention is necessary when it comes to, for example, energy and the rises we've seen there. Social tariffs could be introduced to make it slightly easier for people who are struggling when it comes to their salary. But at the same time, I've always said this, I've said this amongst friends also in business, people my age, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, or if you don't believe you're earning enough in terms of what you're doing day to day, then there's also alternatives. And I've always had that mantra growing up. My parents taught me that if I'm not earning enough, I want to be earning more. If I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, then I would seek something else. And I think promoting that tenacious mindset of driving for higher wages, if you're not satisfied with what you're earning, I think is something that we should be promoting.
Is there? Can you find something that you agree with in that, Steffi, that people can vote with their feet once again, can take themselves away from unsatisfactory situations, or is that a pipe dream?
I mean, of course, some people can, without a doubt. You know, it is possible for some people, but for many, it's not. Finding other options isn't always that easy. You know, it's great if you come from a public school education, you know, you've got university degrees behind you, you've got work experience, you've got options then. But if you don't have those privileges, things can be very hard. I mean, expecting people to apply for a job if they don't have access to the internet or they don't have a phone, that becomes very, very difficult. That limits your options. And even just motivating yourself when, as I say, you can't sleep at night because you don't know how to put the heating on. How can you then motivate yourself and really find it in yourself to kind of go there if you're in such a bad place? And this is the problem, is so many people's mental health is being affected by their living conditions, that trying to find that inspiration is really hard when you're right at rock bottom. Some people do find it, but many just struggle and can't see a way out. And it's really, really hard for them right now. And I do think that, it's a lovely ideal that, if I'm not happy, I'll just find a different job. But the reality is it's not always possible. Some people are very limited in their options. And also some people are scared of change too. If they're struggling to pay the bills, how will another job be any better? How will changing this situation really be any better? It's very, very hard for people. Change is not always easy when you've got mouths to feed and bills to pay. If you change jobs, you've got to go a month without getting paid. That's not easy,